Hi, fellow traders, and Bandi here. It is 8 July, 35 minutes past 5. The market has closed, so I typically do these videos in the morning, so I've decided to shift that into the afternoon after the market is closed to do my full market scan, going through the entire list that my broker provides me with. So, just as a side note, this does exclude quite a number of stocks that are listed in our market. Some of the lower liquid stocks and some of the lower price stocks aren't on my list. So yeah, getting the with the usual. Starting off with APSA. Um, the stock today finally held above that 50 period exponential moving average. If you zoom in a little bit, you can see I thought that was a body off in candle, but in any case, the stock moving quite nicely with the inverted hammer there, moving quite well, moving quite strong on the day. Um, so the stock coming back to close above that 50 period exponential moving average. So yeah, I'll be looking to add to my position around that 143, 23 cents level, unless of course the market gives me a better, um, a better, level to add to my position. I'm seeing a nice tiny ascending triangle pattern here on EPSA, looking quite nice as the stocks looks to break back above, above that resistance. We can call that, I suppose, at 135 rand, a resistance of that ascending triangle pattern. Absolutely quite decent. African Rainbow. Still having a tough time with that 50 period exponential moving average. Did break above it yesterday. Did close above it yesterday, but looks like it's still finding some trouble breaking through the 50 period exponential moving average. Sorry about that. I just have a little cough. The stock having a tough time with the 50 period exponential moving average. Still, forming that shoulder, that right shoulder, probably to test the 200 period exponential moving average. Implant. So I got triggered in yesterday on that breakthrough there, with the stop loss just below that 200-day exponential moving average. The stock came bitterly close to stopping me out today, but to bounce back. We'll see how that continues to pan out. So if you can get it close through that, I'll start being more and more comfortable on this position. Perhaps we can get it close through that 1823 level. Looks like a nice level to be comfortable on. Anglo Gold, nothing good happening there, so moving right along. AB and Bev today closed above the 200 period exponential moving average. So let's just see over the next few days if that continues. If it does, perhaps to come back to that 921 level. We'll see how that pans out. But at the moment, that head and shoulders pattern is still quite quite valid. So if I suppose if we can break back above, depending on how long we stay below the 200-day exponential moving average, if we can break back above that 1,000 rand level and back above the 200 period exponential moving average, I could start building my position there. Aspen looking quite strongly with those three white soldiers there. Three white shoulders is a pattern that three consecutive green days on the chart. coming off that 50 period exponential moving average, moving quite nicely. So I wanted about that 167.80 level. Just a few, we're quite close there, but I call it $2 away from the close there. So if you can get a close above that 187.80, I'll add to my position with stop loss just below that 50-day exponential moving average at 159. Fairly decent doji there on Astral Foods. I think, yeah, my pre-stop has not been touched off yet. So I have a pre-stop. I always place my stop before I actually, before I move it to that level. And the longer that level holds, the more I like that level as a stop loss. On any stock really. So AVI came back to close above the 200 exponential moving average, but still below 50 period is still below the 200 day, so moving right along. Balo, I got stopped on Balo yesterday, so now I want it back rather above that 150 level to jump back into the stock with a stop loss. Just below that low there, just below that swing low there. So if you can get a close, if you can get a close through that 107 level, I'll jump back into the trade with a stop loss just below that 50 period exponential moving average, just below that swing low there. But I could be starting to rebuild that position somewhere around here, but I want it above that 50 period exponential moving average because that's quite significant. But that 107 and 87 level is a much better, stronger level to start trading this position. So I'm gonna skip that because nothing's happening there. BHP holding above, close the bar. Let me just delete all these tools. Sorry there. BHP are holding above that 50 period exponential moving average. So I wanted so if you can close back above that 43 Rand level, I'll start to be comfortable. Perhaps I would be adding to my position with a stop loss. With a stop loss at that 416 level. I want to get a close through and that 433 level. But at the moment, I want it above the 444 level to add to my position with a stop loss just below the 50 period exponential moving average. So not in a hurry as yet. So I'll be adding to my position above that 444.97 level. Bitcop still holding above that resistance level there. What was resistance now holding as support with a tiny bullish engulfing candle there. Bitcop looking fairly strongly. I'm liking Bitcop at the minute. So the next, I'll be adding again to my position above that 352 level, but that's quite some distance. I'm pretty sure that the market will give me a better level to add to my position, and perhaps with a stop loss just below those breakout candles there around the 313 level. So I'm pretty sure if the market rallies on Bitcop, I'll get a much better level than 352 to add to my position. Bitvest bouncing off that 50 period exponential moving average, looking quite well. So if you can get a close back above that 194 level, ordinarily I would have taken the trade on the breakout there. or like today with another close above that candle there. However, I still have a position. I still have a losing position on this trade, so I can't be adding to a losing position. I only buy on the way up. So if I can get a close through that 194 level, I'll be adding to my position with a stop loss. With a stop loss just below that 50 period exponential moving average around that 194.55 level. On Bidvest, I'm liking Bidvest quite a bit at the minute. Capitec testing that 50 period exponential moving average, holding, coming down again to that support of that lower box. So let's do, coming back to forming a double bottom, I suppose. So it closed through So I closed through that 1683 level. Is quite a would be quite a good trade, quite a good entry. So I wanted about that 1683 level. However, if we do break below that support there of 1615. As it break back above that 1615, I'll start rebuilding my position on Capitec and adding to my position again above that 1683 level. Richmond, broke below the low of that candle there. So probably to come and test that 50 period exponential moving average. If it does, I'll get stopped out. I think at a tiny bit of profit, but that's okay. But I still want it above that 177 at the moment. Wanted above close above at 177. Clicks moving quite strongly after bouncing off the 200 period exponential moving average, but then again it did do that previously and collapsed in a heap once it get to that 261 level. So not as exciting as it looks. Perhaps I should move my that resistance to 263. If we can get through 263 and again through 277, especially above 277, I'll start to properly accelerate and building this position. Coronation has been pretty much flat over the past few days. Today closing below the 200 period exponential moving average, but nothing fancy happening here. I still wanted about the 49 rand level. Still looks like there's still quite a bit of selling there at that 49 rand level. But if we can get through that level, I'll start building the position again with a stop loss initially around 45 or that 47 rand level. Discam looks like there's still quite a bit of selling there happening around the 32 rand level. So that whole area is. That whole area looks like someone is selling discam on around that area there. So if you can get through the 32 rand and some change level, that'd be great. I'll just be running a position. Like I said, I'm looking for a close. Like I said in the previous videos, I'm looking for a close through the 34 rand and some change level. And then at that point, my stop loss would be above my last entry point, in which case I will be adding to the position. Discovery not looking very, very good, looking quite close to that's death cross as they call it. Not looking quite good at the moment. But let's see if this trend line will hold. It seemingly looks like it's holding, but let's just watch and see if it does indeed hold. In which case, if it does hold, I want the stock back above above that support, provided the price is above the 200 period exponential moving average and the 50 days above the 200 day as well. This style has been going nowhere slowly for some time now, but still comfortable with this position. This is still, it's actually my biggest position at the moment. So yeah, if we can get a close through that 172 level, I'll add to my position and trail my stop behind me. But rather, no. If it closes above that 72 rand level, my bad, I'll just be pulling my stop to that 62 rand 60 level. On just reducing, increasing my profits rather, because at this point in time, I'm sitting with a risk-free opportunity on just. I'm gonna skip DRD because gold stocks are feeling some pain at the moment. Kumba. Rather Exara, I was waiting for a close above that 170 level, but I can see that 166 level is quite holding quite strongly as support, and if we can break that support, there's a good chance that you're going to test the 200 exponential moving average, in which case I don't want to be in that position. So I'll be raising my stop to just below that low there, just below that 50-day exponential moving average, reducing my risk on the stock by quite a bit. Let me quickly just update my trading journal. What is this? X0. Now my stop loss is 161.49. We can quickly. So now I'm sitting at a 2.3% risk on this trade. So at this point in time, I'm just managing this trade, reducing my risk ever so slightly as the stock is moving back in my favor. And just as a note, this was not ill-disciplined. There was a huge dividend anticipation coming in, so I had to account for that. On the stock, on the charts, on my position, and I'm not trying to get out of the break even or anything of that sort. I'm just managing my risk on this position as the trade moves back in my direction. So the reason why this trade was at a high, abnormally higher risk, above the 2% ceiling that I have for myself, was because of that dividend payment. First rand looking quite strong, bouncing off that 50 period exponential moving average quite strongly. So I'm looking for a close above that. I'm looking for a close above that 56 rand and some change. To start adding again to my position. Wait a second. Actually, close above that 55 rand 90. I'll be adding to my position and trail my stop to just below that low there, just below. Just below that 50 period exponential moving average. And again, if we can get it close through, we can get through 56. I'll add again to the position, and ultimately if we can get through 57, almost like every rand higher, I'll be adding to this position. Don't go too far. For Shini still, by modeling along on that symmetrical triangle pattern. My stop is still quite some distance away, so I wanted above that 163 level, at which case I will add to my position and raise my stop to that 151 level. The stock is looking quite decent at the moment. Exaro broke out of the bull flag, now looks like it's coming back, and with a close below that 50-day exponential moving average, came quite close to stopping me out. We'll see if tomorrow will be that day I get stopped out. If I do, hey man, it's whatever. Growth point, I'm liking growth point moving quite strongly. So now I wanted above that, if I above. What is happening? Why does this feature not work anymore? Above that 1574 level. I want to close above this candle. As you can see, the close it shows up here. It shows up there. Let's see there. I want to close above 1574. We came quite close to yeah, there you go. I'm going to trade above it today, but I haven't closed above it. So if we do close above it, I'll be adding to my position and trailing my stop behind me. Growth point looking quite distant. Perhaps tomorrow will be that day, and then I'll be entering into the trade on Monday. Impala Plat looks like the platinum stock. Yesterday's breakout on the platinum stocks was a false break. But we'll see how how the next few days play out. But for now, it's either my stop is hit or not. So a sense announcement came out apparently with a there's a potential delisting offer at 66 Rand on Imperial. I had a position where I entered somewhere around that 49 Rand level on Imperial, and my edge relies on the stock railing, and if management is putting a ceiling on that and looking for delisting. So I just took my money. I just took my money and let the stock be. So I will not be and let investors do their thing. And I'm not an investor, I'm a trader. And if those rules get somehow misaligned, I'm no longer interested. So as a result, I'll remove Imperial Logistics from my list for the moment, and until that whole issue is resolved. So I would not be trading on Imperial Logistics for quite some time. The stock gapped up about 33 odd percent today, and the profit, I took a profit of about 3.5% on Imperial Logistics. In any case, so that level I had earmarked as a stop has been taken out today. So the low of the candle that took me out will be my next level of stop loss. So I still wanted above that 58 Rand level. I still want Investec above the 58 Rand level, and then I'll be adding to my position with a stop loss there at 52 Rand, unless the market of course gives me a better level to place my stop loss. JSE not looking very, very good, collapsing in a heap. What is this? Kumba. Kumba looking fairly well. Yeah, not too worried. I wanted above it 682 level to add to my position and trail my stop to around that 50 period exponential moving average, and perhaps just around that 650 there's about on Kumba. Peril moving right along. Life Healthcare holding that 50-day exponential moving average quite nicely. So if we can get it close through the 23 Rand 42, I'll add to my position with a stop loss there around 21 Rand 77 on Life Healthcare. Nothing great happening here, so moving right along. The stock looks like it's holding that the support for now, that 18 Rand support. So if you can get through 1950, I'll take the position with a stop loss just below that traffic there. Mondi also looks like it had a false break yesterday. But look, perhaps it just wants to test that 50 period exponential moving average. We'll see where that those where sellers end up, and the low of that candle will be my stop loss. Mr. Price looking quite well, closing back above that 50-day exponential moving average. So if you can get through that 216 level, I'll take the trade with stop loss just below that 50-day exponential moving average, just below the traffic, around that 202.35 cents. MTN looking okay. So I'm lowering my adding to the position entry points. So if you can get through that 104 and ultimately if you can get through that 104.66 level above my last entry, I'll add again to the position and put my stop just below that low there, around that 100 rand level, or perhaps around that 50-day exponential moving average on MTN. Multi-choice getting clapped by the market, I suppose. I do suspect that it has something to do with Tencent, but I could be wrong, of course. Let's clear that out. So yeah, no longer interested on which reminds me, this shows the importance of just taking a loss when your stop is hit. I believe I had taken out somewhere around that. I had a stop below the traffic there, around that 118. Imagine if I had stuck with the position, 7 rands lower. So just wanted to highlight the importance of just taking the loss when the loss is still quite small. Netbank looking quite well, looking like crouching before that spring up. So if you can get through that 171 level eventually, I'll add to the position with a stop loss just around that 162.90 level. There's about. Rock looking like it's taking a slight break from that rally. That really was quite strong. So if we can get through that 106 level, I'll add to my position and troll my stop behind me accordingly. Next, Netcare. I'm still battling with that 50-day exponential moving average. So if we can get through that 14 rand and some change and above that 50-day exponential moving average, I'll start building my position and adding again. If we can get through 15 rand 42, and ultimately again if we can get through that 15.89 level on Netcare. Similarly, the platinum miners were clapped today, despite that a strong move yesterday. Perhaps to either just catching my breath into there a little bit. Perhaps to test that 200-day exponential moving average. But if we take out that low, I want to be out of the stock, and I can always jump back in. I'm not too concerned about taking a loss. Old Mutual looks like it doesn't want to. It's still struggling with that 50-day exponential moving average in that 200-day. So if you can get through 1356, I'll start building the position with a stop loss just below the 200-day exponential moving average, just around the 1277 there. Pepco looking quite strong at the moment. If you had your resistance level at the 20 rand 64, you got triggered today, but I wanted above the close of that candle there, above 2092. So if you can get through 2092, I'll add to my position and throw my stop to around that 1957 level. I have quite a bit of profit sitting on Pepco. Moving right along, and again, Real Bafokeng seems to be the strong of the bunch, holding the 50 period, staying above the 50 period exponential moving average quite well. I already have a position there, so if you can get through 108, I'll add to my position and raise my stop by 3 rand or rather by 250, I should say, to that 100 rand level there. Raynet, moving right along. Remgro is still battling with that 50-day exponential moving average. still has, you know, flirtatious relationship with that 50-day exponential moving average. So if you can get through 116, I'll take the trade with a stop loss just below the doji there, around 110, 111, just around the 200 period exponential moving average. I've been bitten so many times by the stock that I only wanted about the 33 Rand 50 level. So if you can get through 33 Rand 50, I'll add again. I'll start you know, trading this trade again. As you can see, nice giant head and shoulders pattern formation there with an ascending triangle pattern, as well as the ascending triangle pattern as the right shoulder. So if you can get through the neckline of 33 Rand, I'll start building my position on Brand Merchant. The Sanlam stock, I'm still, you know, waiting for a breakthrough that 63 Rand level and an initial breakout through that falling wedge there. If you can get out of that falling wedge, I'll start building my position, perhaps as a start with half the risk. And ultimately, if you can get through the 63 Rand level, you know, put on that full risk and add to the position above 64 Rand 90. Sorry about that. Just grabbing a glass of water there. Moving right along, 50 is below the 200 days, so not interested. Sapi looking quite, still battling with that 50-day exponential moving average. If we can get through that 42 Rand level, I'll start building my position with a stop loss just below the 200-day exponential moving average around that 39 Rand level. So not looking quite good. Perhaps to come back to test that it's holding that support, that 209 support. Perhaps it's looking to test the 200 period exponential moving average, but I want it back above 223, back above that 50-day exponential moving average with an initial stop around 199. ShopRite, still finding some resistance around that 162 level, but if we can get it closed above that 162 level, I'll add to my position and trail my stop to that 152, just below that 50-day exponential moving average. Nice cup and handle formation for pattern there on ShopRite. Sibanye. Closing below the 200-day exponential moving average. That's not very good. Let's see how far that holds up. If it's taking that low, if it does, my interest on buying it temporarily dies until the stock is back above that 200-day exponential moving average, which I have no doubt it will. Standard Bank, I'm still waiting for the close through. That's what is it? 128.82. Back above both the 200-day and the 50-day exponential moving average with an initial stop of that 122.50. SPAR, not very good. So moving right along. Telkom looking quite, this is good. I like, me likes. Okay, let me just delete all these tools and look at it with a more, with a more naked eye. So what do we have here? So we had this resistance. If we can zoom back a little bit, we had this resistance. Came back and held as support with a nice bullish engulfing candle engulfing 1, 2, 3, 4 the past 4 days. That's quite that's what I'm looking for. So I'll jump back into this trade. I'll jump back into this trade tomorrow. at the open with a stop loss around that 52 Rand level. But first, let's just pull back the ATR. Let me just re-add it so that it's visual. Right. So, okay. Let's do that. Bring the channel to there. Cool. So pull up my risk calculator. Let me first update my balance quickly. Where's the account summary? So my balance is 6,683 cents after taking a profit earlier today. If I jump back to my close positions, I took these 3 profits this past few days. My distribution, where is it? Here's how my distribution of wins and losses. I take a ton of losses, but the few times that I'm right, I do tend to knock it out the park. Anyway, jump back into my risk calculator. Let's first calculate the distance of the stop loss. So the trade currently at 36, but I'm going to reduce it to 30 just to make sure that the price is much closer to the stop. And then 1.34 is average true range. So my stop loss should be around that 41 Rand, 41 Rand 62. So there's an obvious low there. So I'll just put my stop at 42 Rand with an entry there at 40 Rand. I'm respecting that 2x ATR rule on Telkom. So how will I be positioned? So 44. Yeah, 44. Did I say 44? Let me just double check on the stop loss. Yeah, 44.30. So 44.30, call it 40. To account for slippage in the morning. My stop loss there at 40.85. So I'll be buying myself 18.8 shares at the open tomorrow. Just making myself a note. That is Telkom. 18.8 with a stop loss of 40.85. Sorry about that. Then back to the charts. We'll bring back that bad boy once we need him again. Sorry guys, these videos, I do these videos uncut, so I don't prep do a pre-scan or something. I'm doing this scan as I'm doing the video. So moving right along. Tiger brands, just delete all these tools to have a cleaner chart. So as Tiger brands, I want it back above that 218 level. I want it back above that 218 level. So if we can get it close to that 218 level, I'll jump back into the trade with a stop loss just below the traffic. They're just below the 200-day exponential moving average. But I could, there is a valid point on starting to build this position much earlier with a stop loss below the 200-day exponential moving average, as the likelihood of that stop being touched off is quite minimum. So could be starting at 214, but for now, it's a thought I'll consider over time. But for now, I want it above that 18 Rand 50. Transaction capital. Looks like there's still quite a bit of selling happening there. I want it above that 38 Rand 40. but it's still going nowhere slowly as transaction capital. But we'll see over the next few days. Truwords moved, came quite closely to that re-entry level. Perhaps that's more now valid. So if I want to close now above it, 59.25, which we did trade above it, making that high there. But if we can get close, if we can get a close above that 59 rand level, I'll add to my position with a stop loss there at 54 rand 76 cents. Shoprite's, yeah. So Shoprite's above 137. I'll be interested, but for now, no, not yet. Last stock is Woolies. Woolies, holding above the 50-day exponential moving average quite well. So I'm still waiting for a close through that 55.75. It did look like it did trade closely to it, intraday today, but I wanted above that 55.75. Last but not least is top 40. Whoa, top 40, that's not good. That's not good. Breaking back into a lower range after failing to hold that 50-day exponential moving average. Perhaps the resources stocks being the biggest driver of that move. So I don't know if indeed that is the case, but there you go. Let's quickly update the journal again. So I want to update my equity curve with you guys. Just do this. So today is the 8th. So I unitize my portfolio. So if you want a copy of it, you can just make the link is in the description below. Just make a copy and clear the data, and you can start with your own. Bring back that. So my equity today closed at 14,811.96. Up by just so portfolio is up by just 0.05%, a fifth of percent. Still up 24% since the start last year. And now I also do a benchmark. My benchmark is the Citrix 40, so let me just quickly update. That Citrix 40 closed at 59 rand 60. So even though the benchmark fell quite sharply, I was up by I was pretty much flat on the day as the stock collapsed today. So I have an outperformance. So this column here is the outperformance. So I have an outperformance currently at about 12%. And the graphical representation, just expand that a little bit. Here's the graphical representation of me against or rather my portfolio against the top 40, and of course the graphical representation of that outperformance. I did underperform the top 40 for some time. The outperformance is a recent thing. So you can see, as you can see, the equity curve is starting to make higher lows. It's nice. Looks like a nice stock trending higher, which I like quite a bit. So in any case, that's it. That's it for me today. Let me know in the comment section down below which stocks you're looking at. Which stocks you're buying at the open tomorrow, or if you're an intraday trader, which what's your game plan for tomorrow? Let me know in the comment section down below. Otherwise, if you do have any question or you want to engage with me, feel free to pop me an email, jabulo@villagetrader.co.za. Otherwise, remember to subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification button so that you don't miss any of these videos. I do them daily, including the live webinar. We do a live webinar every Wednesday with myself and Simon Brown. the video to yesterday's session is also up on the YouTube channel. I'll put a card somewhere at the end of this video. Otherwise, yep. Guys, trade well, trade with this discipline, stay safe, wash your hands. Respect the markets. Check you next time on the channel. See you tomorrow. Cheers.